Hello everyone, my name is Chin Valdez, and I've still been getting a lot of questions about how Sacrifice works. Knows how to increase its damage, what cards do we use. So today, I want to talk about our Sacrifice Paladin's main skill, the Martyr's Reckoning. So the Martyr's Reckoning sacrifices your own HP to deal massive damage to the enemy by causing your next 5 normal attacks to deal an extra neutral physical damage of 6 or 5 in PvP times 5% of your max HP. With each normal attack, you'll lose 4.5% of your max HP. This effect lasts for 15 seconds. Your damage ignores flee and equipment physical defense, but is unable to ignore refinement physical defense and damage reduction stats. When your HP is below the HP consumed, normal attacks will cause you to die. There is no casting time, cooldown is 5 seconds, it costs 30 SP, and has a global delay of 1 second. So not just with the Paladin class, but for every class that we have in the game, it's very important that you thoroughly understand how your skills work. Because knowing how your skills work will enable you to work around its quirks or how to increase its effectiveness. So Martyr's Reckoning's damage is increased by increasing your max HP. But I think everyone already knows that. But there's one small detail that I think is not very clear or is usually overlooked by people. Alright, so it's the extra physical neutral damage. So the way I understand it is, it does not increase your normal attack damage. Alright? Martyr's Reckoning is just an additional damage that goes on top of your normal damage or your normal attacks. I don't know if that makes sense, but essentially there are two parts. Your normal attack damage and your Martyr's Reckoning or sacrifice damage. Which is also the reason why size, race, elemental cards don't work on your sacrifice damage. Although they still do work, but they only work on your normal attack damage part. No, so that's how I see it at least. So there are two parts, the normal attack damage and the sacrifice bonus damage. So even converters will still affect your normal attacks, but not your sacrifice damage. So if we look at our Paladin here, as we're grinding in the undersea tunnel 4th floor, we're hitting around 150, 170, 180k damage per sacrifice hit. But if we remove our Martyr's Reckoning, we get to see how much damage our normal attacks actually do. So our normal attacks are hitting for around 5k, 6k without the sacrifice damage. So our size, race, and elemental cards affect this 5k, 6k damage. No, it won't affect the bonus damage that we get from sacrifice, which is around maybe 175k, 145k. We can actually and visually see this when we start using converters. Let's just slot in a wind converter. Alright, so now our normal attack damage is increased from 5k, 6k, now we're hitting 7k, 9k. But it shouldn't affect, or the converter shouldn't really affect the sacrifice bonus damage. So we'd still be seeing pretty similar damage earlier. Now we're still hitting 170, 180k more or less. We just got that 3k, 4k damage increase from the wind converter. But it does not affect the bonus sacrifice damage. Same thing happens with the size, race, and elemental cards. So at least that's how I see it. Now that's the main gist of it. Now there are two parts. Now we have the normal attack damage and then the bonus or extra sacrifice damage we get from Martyr's Reckoning. So since we're not able to use size, race, and elemental weapon cards, these are the cards that I would recommend we use. It actually really depends on what stats you're lacking. Now, so our characters are not all built the same way. Now some of us have a lot of HP, some of us have a lot of crit. Now it depends. We can use these cards to compensate for whichever stats we're lacking. So if we don't have enough crit, now we can go for the Lunatic card, increases our luck and crit. Or we can also go for the Wolf card, which is what I'm using right now. Increases our crit. Or if you're lacking HP and Vitality, you can go for something like the Fabric card, increases Vitality and HP. And if you're into PvP, you can go for the Savage Babe card, it increases physical damage bonus as well as give you a chance to stun enemies. For our endgame weapon cards, we can go for the purple Goblin cards. So we have the Goblin Archer card, the Goblin Steam Rider card, and the Rotar Zyro card. So they all give us crit damage and crit when you awaken them. But the best in slot, in my opinion, is the Squidget card. So with all of that said, let's see how much our DPS has improved. See you all in the next one.